Yo, what's up guys? My name is Zane Allen, and today I'm going to be teaching you guys the fastest way to level in Star Wars The Old Republic in 2025. Leveling is a big topic in Star Wars The Old Republic, and seeing as my previous videos have all been about gearing and what to do at level 80, I figure I might as well show you my favorite way to get there first. One thing about leveling in this game is that it really comes down to your preference. It doesn't really matter what I think, all that matters is that you're having fun playing the game, so if there's anything that I mentioned in this guide that you don't like doing, you can go ahead and skip it. And really quickly, before we get started, I'm going to show you guys my credentials. So I only have about 14 characters right now. However, only 2 of those characters were made before July of this year. To put it in perspective, it's November and I haven't even really leveled my characters that much since the end of September, so that was about 2 months of me leveling characters pretty consistently. Between July and the end of September of this year, I leveled about 7 characters to level 80. It's one of my favorite things to do in this game, nothing like the dopamine rush of hitting that level up. Alright, I can't talk about leveling without talking about doing your class story. If you're anything like me, you're a legendary player and you've played this story several times. However, sometimes I still really enjoy going back through the story and really immersing myself and putting myself in there. And if you're brand new to the game, I highly recommend sitting through all of the cutscenes. They're all voiced really well, they're really interesting and really fun. And come on, you gotta experience every story at least once. But doing your class story is pretty much a surefire way to level from 1 to at least level 50. You can pretty much do the class story and not do anything else, and you'll probably be around level 50 once you finish Corellia. And then after you finish your class story, you can play the expansion. The expansions give you the experience that you need to stay on track. Star Wars The Old Republic is a story-based game. It's also very solo-friendly, so you don't need to be doing any fancy stuff. You can honestly really just play the story. That being said, just playing the story may or may not cut it for you if you're trying to do things really fast like I usually do. This guide is all about leveling super fast, so here's my take. First, create your character. If you have legacy perks, go ahead and unlock all of the experience boosts for the things that you plan on playing. If you don't plan on playing Galactic Starfighter or any of that crap, don't bother spending your money, but pick up all the important ones like the class missions, the exploration missions, all of that kind of stuff. You want to make sure that you have that extra XP going on. Next, play through the starter planet. There's a couple of options. You can play through the starter planet and really enjoy the story, immerse yourself, have fun. Or you can be an absolute fucking demon like I am. You can spacebar through every single cutscene, pick up every single mission and complete it like a maniac, and then by the time you're leaving the planet, you're like level 17. Then you're gonna do the same thing throughout the second planet, whether it's Coruscant or Dromund Kaas. You don't have to pick up every mission on these planets because travel time can take a little bit longer than on the starter planet. However, you're gonna do the class stories and you're gonna do them fast. Now, on each planet that you're doing the class stories on, if that's the way that you decide to go, you're gonna pick up every single heroic and you are gonna do those heroics before you start the story on that planet. You may be asking, Zane, why the hell am I gonna pick up the heroics and do them before I even do the class story? Sometimes when you're doing heroics, you unlock areas of the planet. Then, later on, when you're doing the class story, you can then quick travel or take a taxi to that area of the planet without having to spend the travel time. Pick up the heroics and do those first and do them as fast as possible. It's always faster to pick up a friend, but if you want to do them as fast as possible and do them solo, you can always level your companion all the way up to level 50 influence. You can either do that by giving them gifts or using the commander's compendium, but either way, you're gonna level really fast, and by doing heroics, you're gonna get gear along the way. I also recommend doing one more thing while doing these class stories really fast. Make sure you're queuing for Flashpoints as often as possible, and make sure if there's a weekly, you've got it and you're doing it. These flashpoints will give you lots and lots of experience, especially if you have the legacy perks for flashpoint experience gain. And also, the weeklies give you a pretty decent amount of experience as well. Not to mention you also get gear from doing flashpoints. Doing all three of these things at the same time is the fastest way to level a character from level 1 to level 80 in 2025. However, if you don't feel like doing the story at all, you can always just do heroics and flashpoints at the same time, jumping from planet to planet to planet and doing flashpoints in between. That's what I've pretty much done recently. A lot of my characters are still in the earlier planets of their story missions. One thing that people struggle with the most from leveling from level 1 to level 80 is that 50 to 80 range, especially the 60 to 80 range. If you're really struggling to finish leveling from, say, level 65 to 80, try doing some of the expansions. Doing heroics and flashpoints can get really redundant, especially if you've been doing them all the way up to level 65, or honestly, anywhere around that point. You can always mix it up and start doing one of the expansions. This you can get immersed, you can have some fun, and it'll give you plenty of experience that's designed to level up higher level players. But for me personally, I like to just keep doing daily areas after I hit level 50, keep doing heroics, have fun, do flashpoints, group up with friends, and just absolutely grind it out. Now, if you're anything like me, you'll have a bunch of alts, and you'll be like, what do I do with all of those? You saw earlier that I only have 14 characters. That's because I had the Great Purge of July 2025. I deleted almost all of my old characters because I only really played a couple of them, and then I started leveling one character at a time. I made one character, leveled it all the way to 80, and then I allowed myself to make a new one. If you struggle with not leveling your characters all the way to level 80, try to restrict yourself from making a new character until you hit 80. Not only does this give you a tangible goal to work for, but it'll keep your character count a little lower. Plus, your focus will be on just one character at a time. I'm going to be making another video that's all about leveling tips because there's so many tips and tricks that I could throw into this video that would make it half an hour long, but I'm trying to keep it short and sweet. But everyone, that's all I have for you right now. If you enjoyed the guide, go ahead and let me know by dropping a like, hitting the subscribe button, and leaving a comment down below. It would really mean a lot to me to support me and push the algorithm. If you want to see me level a character live from level 1 to level 80, I'm going to start doing that pretty soon on my Twitch over at twitch.tv/ZaneAllenTV, and I might even edit that down to more of an educational playthrough to show you guys how I level my characters so fast. I stream multiple times a week, I do operations, I do flashpoints, I goof around, I do a whole bunch of fun stuff. Thank you so much for watching to the end. My name is Zane, and I have absolutely appreciated all of your support. The growth on this channel has been absolutely insane, and I've loved making Star Wars content for you guys, so look out for more in the future. I hope you're all having a great day. Know that you're beautiful and that you're loved. My name is Zane, and I'll catch you guys later. Bye!